Psychology says people who genuinely love staying at home are often misunderstood. They're labeled antisocial, unmotivated, boring, or told they're wasting life. But if coming home, closing the door, and finally being alone doesn't feel like hiding, if it feels like exhaling after holding your breath all day, there's a real psychological reason for that. You're not avoiding life. You're not scared of people. You're responding to what your brain actually needs. In environmental psychology, this is linked to something called restorative environments, spaces that allow the nervous system to recover, reset, and function at its best. While society pushes constant stimulation, noise, and social activity, your brain likely has a more refined self-regulation system. It knows when enough is enough. You don't dislike people. You just value your energy too much to spend it carelessly. And if your home feels like your safest, most natural place to be, you likely share these 4 personality traits. Trait 1. You have a low tolerance for surface-level socializing. When you do go out, you've probably noticed something that quietly drains you. Most conversations aren't really conversations. They're performances. People waiting to talk, not listening. Small talk repeating the same scripts. Energy spent impressing instead of connecting. You don't find this enjoyable, not because you're shy, but because it feels empty. You'd rather sit in silence than pretend interest. You'd rather have one real exchange than 10 shallow ones. At home, there's no pressure to perform. You don't have to dress a certain way. You don't have to react on cue. You don't have to explain why you're quiet. You value authenticity so deeply that being alone feels more honest than being surrounded by people who are playing roles. Trait 2. You're highly sensitive to your environment. For some people, a loud restaurant is just a fun night out. For you, it's overwhelming. Bright lights, constant noise, chaotic energy, unspoken social demands. Psychology suggests that people who prefer staying home often have higher sensory awareness. You notice things others filter out, and your nervous system processes them more intensely. So when you stay home, you're not doing nothing. You're regulating your environment. You control the lighting, the sounds, the temperature, the pace. This isn't anxiety, it's optimization. Your brain works best when it isn't flooded with unnecessary input, like a high-performance system that overheats under constant stimulation. Now, protecting your energy explains why you enjoy being home, but it doesn't explain what you actually do with that solitude. And that brings us to a trait most people completely overlook. Trait 3. You use solitude for deep creation and thought. From the outside, it looks like nothing is happening. But inside your home, your mind is active. You read. You build, you write, you research, you think. Psychology research on flow states shows that deep focus requires long, uninterrupted periods, something modern social life rarely allows. At home, your tools are there, your projects are there, your curiosity has space to breathe. You're not isolating yourself, you're incubating ideas. And while others recharge through stimulation, you recharge through depth. Trait 4. You have a high threshold for peace. At some point, maybe after burnout, a toxic job, or exhausting relationships, you realized something important. Drama is expensive, emotionally, mentally, and physically. So you stopped paying for it. You became more selective with your time, more protective of your space, more comfortable saying no. A quiet evening with a book, a pet, or someone who truly understands you gives you more satisfaction than a night out ever could. You're not lonely. You're peaceful. And to people who live in constant noise, peace can look like boredom. But to you, it feels like freedom. Here's the truth. Loving your home isn't a weakness. It's a sign of self-sufficiency. Psychological research on intelligence and happiness suggests that people focused on long-term growth often feel less need for constant social stimulation. Their fulfillment comes from inner stability, not external noise. If you're genuinely happy within your own space, It means you've built a life you don't need to escape from. You haven't disconnected from the world. You've just created a better one inside. And here's something interesting. Many people who feel most at peace alone also notice another habit. They talk to themselves when no one's around. Not out of loneliness, but because their mind processes thoughts more deeply through inner dialogue. That's exactly what we explored in the previous video, showing on your screen right now. The 4 psychological traits behind self-talk when you're alone. If this video resonated with you, that one will connect the dots even further. If your home is your favorite place to be, drop a home emoji in the comments. And if you want more psychology that explains why your mind prefers depth over noise, subscribe. You're not alone, even when you choose to be.